Well, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 2 o'clock in the afternoon on August 4th, 2024, with Tropical Storm Debby being our guest star today. And, Tampa, you're under the gun. Be safe. Don't drive into any flooded areas, and practice good judgment if you must venture out during this part of the storm. And as you can see, there is a lot of rain across the entire peninsula. About the only people that are dry right now is around Fort Lauderdale, Miami, Port St. Lucie, that general area. Y'all are finally dry. Good on you. But everywhere else, from Clearwater, Sarasota, dry Tortugas, Key West, all the way up to Gainesville, and Palm Coast, Daytona, Orlando, well, you're getting soaked right now, and it's going to be this way for a while yet because this storm is not exactly what I call a fast mover. Now, Tampa Bay, or St. Pete, looks like Northport and north of Tampa for a little bit. But be safe. Like y'all under the gun. Now it's not the time to be moving or evacuating or going out and doing stuff. Practice safety where you're currently at. Your power's out, make sure you have battery power stuff or ready to go. Those power outages and floods are going to be the name of the game with the storm. This is not a huge wind threat, but flooding will be persistent for several days, as the forecast track here will show. And for all this information, we are using Radar Omega, fantastic app. It will keep you up to date, show you all the latest information or watches, warnings of all different types, all sorts of different information. And that's what we're using for our forecast or tracking today. Now, this is all from official sources, but I am not a certified meteorologist. I am just a weather enthusiast cat who wants to keep you in the know. So, look at our forecast track here. As you can see, the 50-knot wind field, which is this green shaded area on the map here, is expanding out. The tropical storm force wind field, which is the darker or lighter green, is it is well inland at this point. Not the strongest winds, but enough if you're in a higher profile vehicle like a tractor trailer or an RV. You may want to keep parked for a bit because that is going to be a trouble spot for you. However, as you can see, it's tropical storm currently with wind speed measured at 65 miles per hour, and this is up at flight level, not down at the surface. That is often a misconception. And it's currently moving north-northwest, and minimum surface level pressure is 992 millibars, which is fairly low. But it's going to get lower because it's slated to intensify. As if you look further up in the forecast, you see this yellow here. That's Category 1 hurricane status. While it is not a fast organizer, there is a lot of warm water here. The steering currents are keeping it at a slower pace than what we want. But nevertheless, the forecasts are projecting only Cat 1, Big Bend area. I would be prepared for a low-end Cat 2, just to be on the safe side. But anywhere, say Dixie County or northward up to Leon, Jefferson, Madison, Wakulla, Franklin, if there's any prep you still have left to do, you have a couple of hours left to do it. By around 8 o'clock tonight, or a lot of these places, the winds will be starting to come ashore, and your time is pretty much out at that point. All of your preparation should be done. You should have your spare fuel for your generators. Your hurricane kit should be prepared to go. Battery-operated radios charged up and ready to go. Or anything else you might need, like bringing in your trash can, stuff like that. That all needs to be done by around 8 o'clock tonight, because after that, you're not going to have daylight or the time to do it safely in most places. But it looks like Taylor County right now, Dixie County, the next places that are going to be under fire, is everywhere else south of that is already feeling the effects of the outer bands. And hear that alarm, that it means a new warning or watch has been issued for the area we're watching. But the biggest threat, as you can see, clearly is the rain field. And if we look further north, or with the forecast track, that takes up into Charleston, North Carolina, the Outer Banks area. It is really going to be meandering around this area for a very long time, which means a lot of flood threats. So even though it's down by Tampa currently, it is going to be in this general area where the cone is for a good while, unless the steering currents change. So be on the lookout for flood threats. If you see a flooded road, do not drive through it. Be safe, turn around. It is not worth your life to get through that or flooded zone. You can find an alternate way. And if it's really bad and you've got to get through it, contact emergency services. They are better equipped to handle that kind of thing than the average citizen. Let's just be honest here. But with that, again, my focus is going to be the Big Bend area of Florida, because that is where the biggest threat currently is. Now is your time to get ready, because as of 8 o'clock tonight, that is when our wind is going to start creeping into the area, and you should be good or ready to go at that point. If you're in a low-lying area, you're running out of time to evacuate, so please don't ignore the evacuation warnings that our local officials give you, because that is where a lot of people do end up passing away in these storms, is because they're in a very flood-prone area, but yet basically tell the local authorities we're not leaving. While they can't force you to leave, it's still a good idea to leave if you're advised to do so. Chances are there is a reason. In this case, we're looking at 7+ foot storm surge in some areas. Thankfully, it's not going to be coinciding with high tide, so that is a benefit to the slowdown. But that doesn't mean you should sit there and ignore the evacuation orders. So with that, I hope you found this useful, and there's another warning issued. So with this storm, just keep in mind, a lot could still change. But for the most part, if you're in the Jefferson-Taylor area, be ready for landfall, because it's probably not going to shift a lot at this point. I mean, it could go left or right still, but this close, regardless if we're going to wobble a little bit, we're probably going to see effects in this area. So stay safe, everyone, and I will see you all with the next update a little later today. Bye-bye.